On today's video, we've got a 20-year-old house with some wood windows that are in terrible shape. We're going to show you the problems we found in these old wood windows and show you how to replace them right. Let's go take a look. On today's video, we're going to be replacing the windows on this house that's really not very old, just a hair over 20 years old. We got the initial call from this homeowner, which is a friend of ours, and said, hey man, I think we've got some wood rot on these windows. Is it possible to repair? Look at this. I came out here the other day. Not good. So we've got all new Marvin windows going on over here. But before we get into the replacement, let me show you the source of the damage. Let's actually walk around back where we pulled out some of the stucco around the windows, and I can show you how these were installed 20 years ago. All right, we're in the back of the house now. This house is a mixture of both stucco and stone. And remember, those are claddings that absorb water. So anytime this house gets wet, it's going to take a long time for that stucco and that stone to dry. We're on the back of the house here, two-story house. We have about a 2-foot overhang. But in particular, this first story is pretty exposed. We're facing west. This is the way the storms and the wind is going to blow in. And these windows had that same rot showing, just like that window in the front. But as we took them out, look what we found. Holy cow, this OSB is in terrible shape. This is vertical mulch at this point, or was wood, just in terrible condition. Now here's what happened. These are wood windows. They're unclad, meaning there's not an aluminum cap on the front. Now that's not an inherently bad window. In fact, I've installed over the years a lot of wood windows. But when you've got this kind of exposure facing west, and I've got a sprinkler system here, so it's very likely these walls got sprinkled on. I think that these just got wet all the time. Now if we pull some of this brick mold off here, let's see if I can get some of this off by hand. Can't quite get it. There we go. Look at the back of that brick mold. There's no flange on these windows, true wood window. They use the brick mold as a flange. That's a pretty standard detail. It looks like these were primed on this side right here. This is this side here. So that was hopefully going to slow down some of the moisture uptake. But look how they flapped the weather barrier in, and they didn't make a true sill. They used this plasticky kind of paper, which is basically disintegrated at this point. And they cut a slit in the corner. So look at this corner here. Let's cut it away and see what our rot looks like in this corner here. Oh, look at that. Wow. This really shows the value of a sill pan. Right here in the corner, these windows were leaking down through right here, leaking here, and instead of leaking onto the Tyvek, it was getting behind. Look, it's just totally destroyed in here. These 2x4s have gotten a ton of rot. Now we caught this early enough, this would have gone another 10 years. My guess is we would have had a lot of structure that had some rot as well. But in this case, it was mainly just sheathing. Look at that, wow. Terrible condition, just falling apart. That OSB is just mulch at this point. Not good. And interestingly enough, as we pull this off down here, there's a lot of rot at the base wall here too. My guess is this rot probably occurred from the sprinkler system hitting the house, soaking this weather barrier, getting through that stucco, and then just rotting that bottom section out. So a couple lessons learned here. Number one, we need to install our windows better. We're also going to use a really high quality window, and we're going to install it correctly. So let's pick up this video here in another week or so when our new Marvin windows arrive on the job site. I'll show you how the window we're installing is a better quality window, and I'm going to show you how to install them correctly, both in a stucco like this area and a stone area in the front. We'll see you in a little bit. Believe it or not, it's been 1 week since we started this job, and man, my guys did an amazing job. Check out these windows now. Remember when we started here a week ago, we had rotted wood windows, and now we've got these beautiful clad Marvin windows. These are gonna last a whole lot longer than the 20 years the other ones did. We replaced the original wood door, this Marvin clad door system, but here's a few details I'd like to show you. On this Marvin Contemporary studio line, this is also a wood window, but on the outside, it's been clad with aluminum. So none of this is wood on the outside. This is aluminum that comes factory painted. We're never gonna have to mess with this. No painting on the outside. We're gonna stucco right up to the flange on this to make it very contemporary. But check out the details behind this. Before these windows got installed, we, number one, fixed all the rot that we found over here before. A bunch of the sheathing was gone. Water had gotten behind the Tyvek because these windows didn't have a sill pan on them before. So now we're running this aluminum faced weatherization barrier right here. This is called Polywall's AlumaFlash Plus. We're running this into the window jamb and up into the sill. And anywhere there's a cut in this, we've used this Blue Barrier 2200. This is also by Polywall. This is their fluid applied flashing right here. And this one in particular is fiber reinforced, so it's extra strong. It acts as a glue and a weatherizer. So look how we've done that over top of that window flange. That's both gonna glue the window in and make sure no water can get in there. Very nice product. Now we've also used that on the seams of their flashing, or pardon me, on their weather barrier as well, to help glue that together. So now none of these are gonna peel off. Let me show you one other handy thing about that Blue Barrier 2200. Because this is a remodel job, you never know what you're gonna quite run into. And in this case, we were taking off some of the stucco so we could put the window on. We needed to take at least 6 inches out. But here's the original Tyvek from when the house was built 20 years ago. How do we integrate our new windows with that old weather barrier that was on there? This is the perfect way to do it. We basically wrapped our Polywall AlumaFlash Plus over top of the Tyvek, and then we glued them together with this Blue Barrier 2200. This is a great thing for a remodel contractor. Now I can basically gun this out with my gun, flash it down, strike that joint right there. Everything's glued together and it's totally watertight. And then of course when we made the windows as well, we did those seams on there. You can see a little bit of that left over. But then at the bottom here, we've left that flange undone on the bottom section. So any water that gets in there, it can run out harmlessly. Boy, this was a textbook install. The guys did a great job over here. Hopefully you learned some lessons about your next project where you've got stucco or stone coming up. Make sure you check out other videos from this house. We learned some good lessons here when it comes to the stone and the stucco in this job that I think you're gonna wanna apply to your house. And for more information on these beautiful Marvin windows, check out the link in the description below. This Contemporary studio line is gorgeous. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on The Build Show.